evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Best Damn Sports Show in Franklin County for Wednesday, July 25th, 2017. I am the Nighthawk, along with our studio director, Miss Joanne, and on the panel, to my immediate right, my good pal, the Duke, and on my far right, Slick Nick Mumley, sitting in for David Handy this week, who's got a big member guest tournament, playing with his good friend Dave Burno up from North Carolina.
Oh, that's right. In fact, I can report my tennis partner Monday night was Bob Burno.
Okay.
Bob is not only, of course, an excellent golfer. This guy is turning himself into a very good tennis player.
Let me say this. Bob Burno arguably is the best golfer in Franklin County.
Yeah.
So if you hold that status, I'm pretty well assured he's got some athletic ability.
Yeah, no, he's
where
a good.
He probably can pick up any sport.
Yeah, of course, poor Bob had to deal with me for all of 3 sets, but he's a great guy but a very good tennis player.
So a lot of baseball to talk about, but apparently Nick did not get my memo. I'm donning my New York Football Giants t-shirt. Duke's got his hometown New England Patriots t-shirt. Of course, NFL training camps are opening up this week. I know for a fact the Giants are opening tomorrow. I'm not sure where they're doing.
Pats are tomorrow,
Pats are tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I told Duke on the golf course the other day, being such, New England great, New York very good teams, there's really not a whole heck a lot to talk about during training camp. If you're a 4-12 team, there's a plethora of situations, scenarios you're looking at. But
so the Giants Patriots certainly don't have too many. Giants don't either?
Not
a lot of
questions.
Many,
but I will tell you this. I was golfing yesterday with our good friend Joe.
Yeah.
He told me he saw some listing, and I don't remember where they, listen this, Duke, you're going to roll your eyeballs. They had the Patriots 16-0 during the regular season. I mean, this was a prediction, a legit prediction. They had New England 16-0, and of course they had them winning the Super Bowl. And I think we talked briefly last week, American Conference, if Big Ben is healthy, Pittsburgh can, they got Antonio Brown, the best or second best receiver in football.
Pittsburgh's usually a pretty decent team.
Bell's a great running back. So Pittsburgh, their defense, average at best. But, without me racking my brain here, I don't see giving New England a push. So when Joe told me that,
but still,
I didn't really argue back like these guys are idiots, because obviously New England's going to be a favorite.
It's very possible, yeah.
But again, that said, does every team have some bad games? Of course.
I was just going to say, will they lay an egg during the season? Sure, they will.
Be sure, as I hardly have to tell you.
At least once.
Yeah.
And as I hardly have to tell you, the last thing I don't want any perfect season. As much as I'd love to see Mercury Morris shut up finally, which the Patriots came so close to doing, except for your guys. Anyway, but this is Ron Borges in the Herald. Easy to get the Pats into the Super Bowl. Harder than one thinks, big headline. Repeating as champs, a mighty task for Pats. Not so fast. Many people believe Tom Brady and the Pats are a lock to repeat the Super Bowl celebration, but the road to a 6th championship won't be a walk in the park. So, I'm the last person who's going to coronate these, but they do look like a loaded team.
Yeah, it's the best team they've had in a while, for sure.
Like it. Looks like it.
Of course, you have to play on Sunday, but I will say this. Of the history of the Patriots for the last 15 years, my opinion, this is their easiest walk to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, there's just not.
Maybe best team in AFC, just as usual, not great.
So, Nick, tell me, aside from Pittsburgh, is there any other legitimate team out there?
Well, I think they play at Denver. Denver's usually a tough game.
Denver's always a tough game. Baltimore's always a tough game.
And my buddy Joe mentioned Denver, and I said, fine. Denver's got a great defense.
And they always seem to play at Denver.
But here's what I said. Okay, Denver's got a great defense still, but let's go to quarterbacks. You have Tom Brady versus Trevor Siemian, who I'm going to assume is going to start for them this year. Who's the other kid? Paxton Lynch.
Yep.
So
one of those guys is, neither one of those guys can beat Brady. I mean, that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't want to say the word boring, Duke, but being a Patriot fan, being this good and so much better than everyone else.
Sure, not boring. The word boring has zero meaning to me. Not boring to me. Huck, I'll get into the Red Sox later. For all the people who, including you, I think, Aren't you telling me Red Sox a walk in the park to the AL East crown, or did I misunderstand you? Some walk in the park.
Right.
I'm really down on the Sox. I'll get into that later. The David Price thing.
Right. We have plenty of time.
But I'm the last person to corny on me. I'm always cautious and nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
things happen.
No, Nick, who do you like in NFL?
Oh, Patriots.
Okay. I think your generation, everyone likes the Patriots, but the Giants.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Give me some other teams that young people like.
Oh,
are there a lot of Cowboy fans out there?
Not really.
For my generation, there are a lot of Cowboy fans.
There's really not a whole lot of affiliation, except that they don't like the Patriots. Like, I went to a Super Bowl party the night of the Super Bowl with like 10 or so of my buddies. And
yeah.
I was the only Patriots fan there. The rest of them, they don't really have an affiliation per se. They just didn't want the Patriots to win.
But there are a lot of people out there that just hate the Patriots.
Oh, I mean, get away from New England. I mean, yeah, same with Duke. Get away from Duke. I mean, people love to hate those guys. The Pats do have another pretty, potentially pretty tough road. They do play at the Raiders. I mean, that's a legitimately tough game,
the Raiders
I would say.
are probably the second best team.
Might be the toughest game on the schedule.
Derek Carr, their quarterback?
Yeah. He's quickly becoming an elite quarterback.
Had a great year.
What was it, second year last year for him?
So, yeah.
And he was playing great and, probably could have been the third overall MVP guy.
Yeah.
Then he goes and breaks his leg.
Yeah.
And that team, they had nothing for a backup, and they were blown out in the first round.
I honestly think that if Carr was healthy and they matched up with the Patriots in the playoffs, I think Oakland would have won that game.
Yeah. Okay, Duke, I'll give you one there. Oakland could
everybody
be a
good. But again, everybody just about always screws up.
And it's all about
a long season.
Telling you, New
Look, over the year, the Patriots have had a great team for years.
Right.
They played some stinker games here and there.
They're not going to go undefeated, but I will tell you this: if I had to put money on the table tonight, 14-2 for New England.
Doesn't sound like a crazy. That doesn't sound crazy.
I would even say 15-1, honestly, with maybe the Raiders game.
Right.
I mean, they open with Kansas City. I mean, that doesn't strike me as a gimme game. 7.5 points.
7.5.
They already got a spread on that game.
7.5. I checked tonight. New England's favored by 7.5. They have a good game manager in Alex Smith. But if New England's down, Kansas City's down a touchdown with 2 minutes to go, Alex Smith just isn't that type of receiver. He doesn't make many mistakes, and Andy Reid's a good coach and all that.
But again, injuries happen. I mean, Brady, Jimmy G looked great for a game and a half, but I'm not quite ready to appoint him the next Tom Brady.
You and me both.
If Brady goes down, I mean, who knows?
Now, as far as the Giants, I mentioned this to my youngest brother, who's a big Cowboy fan. Ezekiel Elliott kind of roughed up his girlfriend a number of times, even though ex-girlfriend, I should say, even though she never reported it to the police. That's under investigation, and I would have thought by now some suspension would be thrown out there. Cowboys open up against the Giants down in Dallas
as per usual.
Sunday night. Dallas right now is favored by 5.
Really?
Elliott, was he the leading rusher last year? Might have been, or one of the top.
Stewart, certainly.
The kid is great. They have the best offensive line in all of football. Dallas is a good team to watch. They play good old-fashioned football.
Oh, no doubt.
So, even though they have, Alfred Morris, the ex-Redskin, and the other kid. Oh.
Yeah, I can't.
Don't look at me.
I feel like I know who you're talking about, but I can't put
boy, if I was on a live TV sports show right now, I would tell you who they have capable backs, but they're not Elliott. So that, at the very least, he'll get at least a 1-game suspension. My guess is 2.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, but with all this glee about training camps open up, now I can flip the coin and say, boy, am I depressed. To me, that's the first sign of see us, summer's just about over.
Yeah.
And here we are, 5 weeks away or so to Labor Day. So, so we'll keep our eye on football. And again, I'll repeat myself, when you're the king of the hill and you got the Giants, and I'm scared with the Giants just because I'm expecting a very good season.
So what do you expect
out of them.
record-wise? What are you looking for?
I can see them matching last year's 11-5
Really?
record.
Yeah.
I said all last season they're not as good as their record, and of course they had a flat tire in the opening round against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, Big Mouth Miss Diva, dropping that touchdown pass. Then also in the first quarter, they had a 3rd and 8 situation, ball right there. And of course, that's when they went down to Miami on their bye week and hung out, and God knows what they did down there. But he was horrible that game. And, you know, when you're in the playoffs, you give, you know, a short touchdown, you're probably going to lose. Everybody's good. So, okay. Well, baseball today, Cy Young pitched for the Red Sox today.
Nice to have a real closer. No offense, Mr. Price. Nice 4-game losing streak, longest of the year.
And we'll get into Price because, again, my good friend Joe, he's talking about problems in the locker room.
Joe was also right on about it. I can't wait to get into last night.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll try to say that 2-on extra innings. They're desperate for runs. Chris Young comes up. I think Joe mentioned the same exact situation a few games ago. Did Young come up as a pinch hitter? 2-on, he didn't bunt, hits away, makes an out. But I'll try to save that for a little later.
Right. So the Red Sox were on a little 4-game skid, right?
Well, a little 4-game for the record. They had lost, I think, 12 out of 18 going into today. More than a little 4-game skid.
They're having a tough time at the plate.
But when Chris Sale jumps on the mound, you've kind of like, so he's now 13-4.
13-4.
14th straight game with 10 or more strikeouts.
14 straight or 14 this year? I don't think straight. I think he might have missed it. 14th this year.
It might be, yeah.
But
I think
close.
it was. I saw something about it earlier.
I think
today.
he missed it. He missed a few.
A league
14th this year.
Leading 2.37 ERA. So it's nice to say that. So but in comparison to what? Our good friend, who I love, Corey Kluber from Cleveland, has got a 2.74.
Really?
So he's got nearly a half run better than the runner-up, and Kluber is a great pitcher, and his whip is at .88. So Chris Sale.
He's been outstanding this year.
I love how he
you
pitches.
can't be
We just
silent.
say every week. It's so nice. Again, David Price, to beat up on him again takes so much time. You know, it must drive your infielders crazy. You know, and gets the guy on. I mean, good luck watching David Price. Sale is great. He gets the ball back and pitches it. You know who I just saw last night? Same kind of situation, Brandon Workman. Welcome back, Brandon. Why they just let him go 1 inning last night is beyond me, but same thing. Just quick delivery, just looked great last night, just like he did in his rookie year in the World Series. Anyway.
Now, Dan Shaughnessy wrote an article I read the other day about the David Price situation.
I have it right here.
And
I
what
read
Jackie Bradley Jr. did was
Funny you mention. I'm all
okay, and I'll let you talk about that. But I'm sure you're a Red Sox fan, Nick.
Oh,
okay,
I
Jackie
read the
Bradley
article.
asked Dennis Eckersley.
for a picture.
Show up the picture. Will this?
Geez, it's right there.
I'll give
Yeah,
you the
Joanne
picture.
won't come out of her studio. So Jackie Bradley asked Dennis Eckersley, who is an extremely candid colored man.
Stand-up guy.
Right, and that's
Great guy, yeah.
I just
Incredible career.
she can talk to us. And I don't want color men to sugarcoat the team when they're doing bad or for players not. Tell it the way it is.
Sure.
The team hates Dennis Eckersley. So Jackie Bradley asked Dennis Eckersley if he would take a picture with him on the tarmac.
Something that Eck doesn't typically do.
Right.
You know.
So Eckersley, who in my opinion has earned the right, he's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
200 wins, 200 saves. Okay,
Not to mention a ton of personal issues, which
Right.
you know, he has no problem people
Now-
relating. A couple of failed marriages, an alcoholic. He's
Right.
had plenty
He's
of
right.
issues that he's managed to deal with.
And Eckersley easily could have 300 wins if he didn't
Yeah, he spent
agree
most of
to
his
time.
go
Great
to
reliever.
the bullpen.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of guy he is. And I'm not a Red Sox fan. I'm a National League guy. He's a good color, very good color man.
I think
does great
you've
work
heard-
in the studio.
Heard me. I think
very
he's
candid.
great.
So,
Very candid. I love that.
you know, so Bradley asked him for a picture. Eckersley felt, well, okay, sure.
Eckersley
They
obliged.
take a nice picture
Yeah.
by the plane. So what does Jackie Bradley do? He puts it on Facebook or
Yeah.
the media,
Yeah.
and writes a couple 2 sentence to shoot down Dennis Eckersley.
Well, you want specifically?
Right, get more, but that
you got
surprised
it.
me.
And
you don't beat up on the Eck.
And JBJ asked, he involved Red Sox publicist Kevin Gregg to do this, and Gregg mentioned it to Eck, who typically, I'm reading from Shaughnessy's column.
That was the article.
Eckersley thought it was odd, but posed with JBJ on the tarmac before boarding a plane. Once on board, Bradley sent out a tweet, didn't take him long to go after Eck, which read, "Huge thanks to @Eck43 for saying all the things I can't," in quotes, "do these past few days. People like you is what drives me." Nice, JB. Just to go on a little more. The tweet was accompanied by the photo of Eckersley and Bradley standing and smiling. In the photo, Bradley has his right arm around Eckersley's back. When Eck was shown the tweet, he confronted Gregg, the Red Sox publicist, who expressed surprise. He didn't know this was going to happen. "I had no idea, none at all," said Gregg. One more graph. Price was not a member of the Red Sox when that went down. I'm sorry, was not a member of the Red Sox when that. No, so this is going back. I'm confused by this. But this, I guess that was a few years ago. Sorry, I thought this was happened right away. So I guess there's some history here with the players and Eck, but unreal.
Now, and also in that article, did it
that.
not say Eck won't fly with the Red Sox?
I think Eck's not. Yeah, I guess he doesn't like to do road trips anymore. Right. And given this. Yeah, another thing, and they mentioned Steve Lyons, Psycho. He's disappeared for a while.
Right.
A reference here, just dealing with a personal situation. Of course, Jerry Rumy's still recovering from his latest round of
let me
cancer
say this
surgery.
About Colorman. Again, I want the truth. These guys are usually ex-jocks or ex-players. They know exactly what's going on. Yeah. My Washington Nationals, we have F.P. Santangelo as the color man. Give him 2 pom-poms and a little skirt. He's a cheerleader for the Nats, okay? I don't need that, okay? Yeah. I'm watching it. You already got me. Be honest about when the team's not playing good, or if Ryan Zimmerman at first base can't throw the ball anymore. Be honest. Now, we used to have a color man by the name of Rob Dibble that pitched for the Reds 30-some-odd years ago.
We got a call, huh?
He got fired for being honest.
Is that right? Yeah, it can happen.
Good evening. You're the first caller tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show in Franklin County. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, guys.
Hi.
I couldn't agree with you guys more with the Eck. The Eck is a great, great guy.
Yeah.
I read a Shaughnessy article the other day that it kind of explained the thing with Price. And what the article said that, I guess Erod's ERA or something came up. I don't know if it was on the screen or if they were discussing it. And at the time, it was like 5 point something.
This is when he was doing his rehab. This is when he was at Pawtucket.
Right.
And Eck made the comment when he just saw the numbers. He didn't take 10 minutes. He said yuck or something, and that's what got Price bent out.
That's what started this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Right. And like what I read, the Eck went on the plane and. You had Price and a little band of his merry men standing waiting halfway down the aisleway, and Eck went down there kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And Price opened his big mouth and said, "Get the F out of here."
Yeah, just what he said.
Eck was like, "What?
Yeah.
Get the F out of here." So Eck, I guess these guys, Eck and whoever, they go to the back of the plane, and the Eck went back up front for something, and Price again would get the F out of here. He right there put a bad taste in my mouth with this guy. I just hope Price loses every game he pitches.
Wow.
The Red Sox do not need this, I know there's trouble in the clubhouse. It's too good of a team to be playing like we're playing. And you get a Price in there and a couple other followers, it tanks out the whole bunch of them, and I know that's what's going on.
And does John Farrell have the cojones to jump in there and try to right the ship? No. There's a Steve Buckley article in the Herald today. Farrell fails miserably. Belichick could teach Sox manager a thing or two, and he gets into Belichick. Best coach over? Well, maybe, but even more than that, without getting into that, the guy's got a presence, something Farrell lacks. So, I was kind of neutral on Farrell, but I'm pretty down just because of this. And last night, Bobby, I mentioned, 2 guys on in extra innings. Chris Young comes up. They're desperate for runs. They need probably 1 run to win the game. You know, does he try to bunt the guys along? 2 guys on, nobody out, no. Hits away, short fly to right field, don't get any runs, lose the game a couple innings later. Maybe that's a situation that Chris Young can't bunt, which maybe a lot of major leaguers can't, but that's pathetic. I mean, isn't that in fact, for the record, Mike Timlin doing the color on TV last night, Timlin says about 3 or 4 times, hey, I'm not the manager, but he's got to be bunting here. Give me a break.
I think you've got to look at what has Farrell
I
done.
couldn't agree more. I mean, with the Red Sox and the power outage we've had this year,
Get a run. Jeez.
I don't know why we're not practicing small ball. You know,
It
we
makes
have
sense,
people on
yeah.
base all the time, and I agree, Duke. You've got to, you know, if you're not hitting home runs, you've got to push these guys along with bunts,
Caller,
sacrifices, whatever.
Caller,
But
Really?
you stole the point I was going to make. The Red Sox are last in home runs. Okay, they're still in first place.
Barely.
Look at your team and say, we're not bombers anymore. So let's
Really?
learn how to bunt and let's
Really?
play some small ball. We got some speed on the team. Let's beat them.
Even today, they won 4-0. Thank you, Chris Sale. But even
Right.
today, I'm upset. I just caught the end of the last few innings. They're up 4-0, a pretty safe lead, but not a. You never know. Bases loaded, nobody out on the top of the 8th for the Red Sox. JBJ comes up, is 3-1 count. Anyway, but he strikes out. Moreland, who seems to have just faded away. Moreland, is that right? Mitch
Moreland.
He strikes out. And then Xander Bogaerts, who seems to, I don't know if he's got a wrist injury, he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Weakly grounds out. How about like maybe a safety squeeze? I mean, JBJ, I think he can probably bunt.
Yeah.
Get a run in. They get no runs out of that
Yeah,
inning.
if you bunt there, then with nobody out, bases loaded,
Absolutely, Duke. You got to
you may
create
even get a
something,
double
Really?
play, but
you
you
know?
still get a run.
Get a
You know,
run in.
Farrell's a nice guy and all, but he's not a great coach.
He's lost control of the
we let
clubhouse.
him go, and that guy was a coach. You would see back when he had the team there a year and a half ago when Farrell was out.
Torrey
there'd be a
Lavallo.
mistake out in the field. You would see Lavallo sitting with that player on the bench after kindly, going through the play that guy messed up. And after he talked to him, he pat the player on the back. I mean, where Farrell just disregards everything.
Caller?
I like John Farrell, but I don't like him as a coach.
Caller,
Oh, well put.
I thought of you last night. Where the Nats are playing the Diamondbacks, and Torrey Lavallo is the first-year manager. Now they were nearly last place last
this
year.
is a good- this
the
is a good
season
team.
ended right now.
Very good team.
The Dodgers are like 50 games over 500, but the D-backs have played really solid ball. Zach Greinke's got a 2.84 ERA. Lavallo has got complete control of that team. I just watching that team from last year versus this year. It's a completely different attitude.
Yeah, last year
and I
was chaos.
remember either Duke or the caller saying over the winter, I wish we would have kept Lavallo and got rid of Farrell.
Of course, the Farrell situation was a little sticky because of his
Cancer. You
his
can't
cancer
fire
situation.
somebody who's got
Look,
cancer.
this is Wall Street Journal, which throws in some nice sports stories. Big headline, just a little while ago. Hitting on a winning strategy. Arizona Diamondbacks decided not to tank after a 69-win season now. One of baseball's best teams. Very good ink for the D-backs.
But yeah, you got to look at what has Farrell done since 2013 when they won the World Series. The Red Sox really had just a bunch of disappointing seasons.
And the price thing, this thing just seems kind of cancerous now. And
Is that a joke?
in fact, I wasn't. I'm not smart enough to make a joke out of that. Sorry, but it just seems like a very bad situation that Farrell is just letting, and I feel so bad for Eck. I mean, Eck, what a great guy.
He's earned, even if he was wrong.
In fact, let me go back to Shaughnessy's.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Let me go back to Shaughnessy's story just a little more. Toronto Blue Jays scout Jim Beatty, a world champ with 78 Yanks and a former GM with the Orioles and Expos, said about the Eckersley controversy. If I was a ball player and got criticized by Dennis Eckersley, I think I'd go back to the hotel and look in the mirror. Great comment.
I saw that too.
Meaning it's probably, if he's saying anything to you might want to consider what he's saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, caller.
And the thing about it, you listen to the Eck, and I watch a lot of Red Sox games, as I said before. It'd be like you three and myself sitting here at my house having a cold brew of our choice, watching the game, we would be saying the exact same things
Sure.
that Eck is saying, but probably even deeper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
Eck watches the game and calls it as it is, like
Yeah.
you said, Nighthawk. And if, those Red Sox take offense, I mean, my God, they've got to be thicker skinned than
Really,
that.
exactly.
and you're
They're-
so right.
If you're playing in Boston,
you're
you've got to have
paying
thick
millions
skin,
of
and that's
dollars
just
that,
not.
Yeah.
none of them are, the offense, none of them are performing up to expectations, I guess. Mookie Betts, he had, 0 for 6 last night.
Not a
Two
great year.
strikeouts. He's
Yeah.
at today. He's at 270. Hanley Ramirez, I mean, he needed Big Poppy there as his motivator.
Yeah.
Bogarts, he went on a second half slump last year, and I don't think he's really ever recovered. Petey's picked it up. Petey's playing good ball.
Petey's had a good.
Moreland
Petey's had a
has
good year.
faded.
Yeah. Moreland's
It
fading,
goes
yeah.
on and on. Not that these guys are doing terrible,
Yeah.
but they're just not doing as
Yeah.
well as they should be.
Yeah.
And I really question Chili Davis now. He's got to pick it up with these guys a little bit.
Hitting coach.
I mean,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
teams that are doing better hitting with less talent.
Yeah.
So, they've got to do something. And, going into this year, I was thinking just the opposite. We'll hit, but it'll be up to our pitching. And that's not the way. Our pitching has been fantastic,
Well-
and our hitting's been lacking.
Yeah, the
But,
pitching staff is number one in the American League.
Pitching's been-
and as of last week, I didn't check tonight, they still had the 5th most runs, but they're just not getting them
Just a lack of timely. Just
timely hitting.
boy,
Yeah.
just some
Now,
really
Caller-
untimely hitting.
Need to.
Your thoughts on the acquisition last night of Eduardo Nunez?
Hawk, kudos. I was in my notes. Kudos. You told me if it wasn't a guarantee, you said they're going to get a third baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What do you think, Bobby, about Mr. Nunez?
Well, I think
I think we
Devers
both
is
agree.
gonna
We
stay
didn't
there.
see
He
the
had
need.
his first home run.
Yeah,
he
in
was
his
2
second
for
game.
4 today.
Yeah.
What I heard on the talk show radio today, that he made some great defensive plays as well.
I saw one last night. He made a nice play going well to his left last
Yeah.
night. Yeah, he looked like a very solid start
And the guy's hitting 308 too. I mean, that's
in the,
Nunez,
minors.
I
No,
think,
in
will
San
be used
Francisco.
more as a
Oh, I'm sorry,
utility
I was flashing
infielder.
back to,
Now, I remember
oh,
when he
David.
played
Yeah.
with Minnesota.
Yeah.
He hit well. He hits the ball hard, line drive hitter, good at the plate, good glove anywheres, and I don't think Devers will be out. I think he may sit a night or two a week, not put too much pressure on him. But Nunez did not come in to spell Devers.
So that was
What
kind
about
of
the
my
what
question.
about the what about the two pitching
'Cause
quote prospects they gave up?
The 2 prospects were 2 names I've never heard of.
I guess
Yeah,
my quick
same.
comment is hopefully this deal will work out better than the last time the Red Sox got a third baseman
Right.
from the Giants.
I just want to let you know, Travis Shaw against Washington last
don't tell
night
How
me.
many home runs does
hit
he
a
have
3-run home run against us. He's now at 297,
Wow.
23 home runs, 73 RBIs, projected for 37 home runs, 116 RBIs.
For whom the Red Sox have gotten to this date nothing.
Caller,
Zero.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, but would the question be?
We did
my
fade.
question,
He
would
faded
have
badly
done that in
last
Boston?
year.
Yeah.
He faded badly. I don't. I it
Sox
was
gave
kind of
up on him.
unlucky.
Yeah, I don't think you can regret that trade because
It's
I don't know.
very
Had the
easy
relief
next
pitcher been
year to
pitching
say
well,
the
I wouldn't be
trade
thinking
doesn't
about
look
it.
good. But if he batted 230 this year with 9 home runs, we'd be saying what a great trade that was. And what made the trade look so bad is what we got in return for him.
Nothing today, right.
The guy hasn't been helping the team. Had the guy been
Hasn't
pitching
pitched.
really well, we'd be saying,
Yeah, I think if
wow, what a
Thornburn
great
comes
trade
around,
that
he'll
was.
do
Yeah.
So, it's kind of hard to.
But I told Duke if Milwaukee wins that division, my MVP vote would go to Travis Shaw.
Really.
You've
Wow.
got to consider it. I mean,
Yeah, because you could say Bryce
Oh,
Harper.
I certainly wish him well.
Right. He's not the best player in the National League. Harper is, but Harper's got a lot more mates than the Brewers do.
Yeah.
So, but caller, Devers, I'm assuming, and I'm probably wrong, that they got Nunez to be their starting third baseman and to give Devers everyday playing time down on Pawtucket because next April, Devers will be your starter.
Boy, but
Nunez,
From what I've seen-
Nunez is run a player. His contract ends in 2
Does it
months.
really?
But from what I've seen-
Devers is off
Yeah,
too. I mean,
what
just
I
2
read
games,
today
but
on him
hit a
that
home
he's
run,
utility.
427
I
feet
think
today.
you may see him. I think that you may see them keep Raphael and just
think
alternate
Marrero-
playing.
What I've
Marrero
seen
hadn't been playing
is-
bad. I don't know what to say about
Caller, is
Marrero.
Marrero history down in Pawtucket?
I really don't know. Brock Holt's up and everything.
Yeah.
They got Brock
Marrero
Holt, too.
may be
You got to think
history, but
Marrero's done.
I wasn't that psyched for getting. I think.
I
I think.
was still,
Yeah.
with Devers. I mean, he's playing great defense. He, 2 for 4 today, and I read a good article like a week ago that the Red Sox weren't going to sell the farm on a third baseman.
And they
said
did.
we had
They- no, they really
Devers,
didn't.
and he's better than anybody out there right now that we could trade for.
Yeah.
Here's a trivia question. I certainly never ever would have come up with this. Devers is the youngest Red Sox player to start a game for them since.
Tony Conigliaro.
No, a little later than. How about Jeff Supan? I certainly wouldn't have come up with that by about 100 days, I think.
I remember Jeff Supan.
I remember Jeff Supan.
Now, caller, Nunez in a power position has got 4 home runs for the year.
Poor Homer.
Yeah.
And I assume limited. Has he been there right?
No,
Well,
regular.
that
He was a
goes
regular
back
third
to what we
baseman?
say. He'll be utility.
Yeah.
But again, end of
Yeah.
the contract, the Giants presumably weren't going to
no,
try
no,
to
no,
keep
no,
him.
no. In fact, Pablo would not right away, but I would say within a couple weeks.
Will end up back in San Fran, you think?
Oh, he's already signed. and-
Has he really?
Oh, yeah.
In single A,
he
though,
really?
hasn't he?
He's in some minor
But the
leagues.
Giants signed
Yeah.
him. God,
All right.
isn't that what a weird situation?
Okay, so
Yeah.
so Devers.
I think they'll use him to put a few more fans in the seats.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite.
But
out
that's
there,
one
for
thing about San Francisco, though. They sell out every game.
That's
It's
a great.
because
I've been
of the
there.
ballpark.
It's a great. I've
Oh,
been
yeah,
there.
such
It's
a
a
He's been
great
there.
park.
Yeah.
Definitely would
Now-
like to go there. So.
And they're out of it, right? They're having a
One last
terrible
question,
year.
caller. Trade deadlines in 5 days. Will the Red Sox pick up a pitcher in the next 5 days?
As in a relief pitcher, obviously they're not looking for a starting
Jarvis
pitcher.
was rumored with 10 other teams
Yeah.
looking at him, but I'm just afraid the price is going to be too high. And again, our pitching is looking really good. I don't know. I just don't want to trade too much away. We just got to
Yeah.
pick up our hitting a bit.
And I feel better with Workman. Brandon
Yeah.
looked so good last
Yeah.
night. I feel better just seeing him again.
Ah,
I
the
would
guy's
like to pick up a.
awesome.
What I see
reliever.
Boston doing is
Me
getting
too.
Pat Neshek from the Phillies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His contract
I can
is
see
up
that.
at the end of the year.
Huh.
Veteran sidearm pitcher. His ERA is down around 1.7.
Really?
Very good pitcher. I don't think the Red Sox will have to give up much to get him. It's like those
definitely
2
not.
pitchers. I had
can
to
do
look
that. They
at
might do that.
they got for Nunez. These 2 pitchers I had never even
I
heard of.
hadn't heard
Ideally,
of him.
you'd pick up a reliever, but I mean, Dombrowski
Yeah.
is happy to give away the farm sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think they'll make one more move, but it won't be too big of a move. Just
Now,
for a
caller,
small-
you're kind of like our guest here tonight, but the Yankees, what do you project them doing in the next 5 days? Are they happy with Chase Headley at first?
Well, right now, I know they're talking with Sonny Gray and
Wow.
Alonso, the big first baseman we talked about a month ago. Remember, we
Yep.
were talking to Dave about that guy, and there's heavy conversations going on right now. And I think with that, the Yankees are going to be very dangerous.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
So Chase Headley would be
And boy,
perfect.
they shored up their bullpen.
Yeah.
Cano,
Yeah,
I
they got
think,
Robertson.
is the best piece that they got from Chicago. I mean, the guy pitched the other night, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts. When you go in there just blowing people away, striking them out, that really shuts down the opposition. When you can't put the ball in play, you're not going to score runs.
Yeah,
Mr.
especially
Frazier
late
had a
in the
home run
Yeah,
today,
the
Hawk. He
guy
said he would
throws
keep hitting some homers.
Yeah, Clint
Frazier had a
Frazier
home
is
run.
good.
Hey, I have one other question for Nick on the far left. Now, you're from Swanton or Highgate, right?
Yep.
MVU boy.
What do you think about the new basketball coach for the girls basketball?
Oh, I think that is
Another big
such
headline,
a good
Hawk.
thing for them. I mean,
Really?
I was there Well, I watched every single one of their games last year, and it was awful.
What was their record last year?
0-20.
No win.
0-20. What was it the previous year?
1-19.
Right, and the
that
previous year from
Wow.
that was probably 1-19.
They have their last win, I believe, was 32 games ago against
Wow.
Peoples, and
Wow.
it was in
tough.
2015. But I mean, this is really huge for them. They really need a break like this. This is really awesome.
That's right. Again, Taylor Coppenrath is
I
going to
think
be
he'll
a
do a
math
good
teacher
job,
at MVU. That's great. That's great news.
Yeah, I think that
where
they'll
is
start
he
winning
from?
immediately.
He's
He's from St. John's.
Or St. J, yeah, St. J Academy had
That's
great
where he's
career at
been the last couple of
UVM.
years, yeah.
In fact, it's the Messenger had a nice front page story today. That's their big story. MVU nets former UVM star, former Catamount Coppenrath to lead Thunderbird girls hoops, quoting Taylor. With a little bit of work and a few adjustments, I feel like we can be successful. Yeah,
Can I ask you something? This is a newspaper, and the first three letters are NEW, new. I knew about this at least 6 weeks ago, if not further.
Yeah,
Why
there's
did
been-
it take? I mean, you knew about it, right?
I think today it just became an official thing, but I
I
mean,
assume just a contract. I mean, maybe just they just
yeah.
just now
I've known
signed
Taylor's
the
been coming to
contract.
MVU. He was there probably in April. I think that news came out that he was going to be teaching, and then I mean obviously there was a vacancy in the girls coaching position, and I think everybody kind of assumed that would happen, especially since he'd been coaching at St. J. And it was just kind of the overall assumption, and I think this is just the contract becoming official.
Fair question. It might have been just
that'll be a really
waiting till
good
they
thing. That'll kind of
sign the
refresh
contract.
program. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it'll
know,
put people in the seats too.
I, for one,
Big
would just
problem
like
with
to
that
see
last
the guy.
year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's kind of a hero in his own way. You know, he
Yeah.
certainly put UVM on the map in that
Yeah.
game with Syracuse. Probably was that 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's about right.
2005,
Yeah.
12 years ago.
12, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But, yeah. Okay, caller, thank you so much.
okay.
Hey,
Have a
thanks
good
for
night,
checking
guys.
in. Thank you. See ya.
Yeah, Coppenrath itself will put some fannies in the seats.
Yeah, and that was a big problem last year. I did the PA for both
you
the
were-
boys,
I mean, you were
boys
there.
and girls, so I was at every single one of the home games.
You were there.
And the girls had a tough time putting maybe 100 people in
Wow.
the seats for the games, and I mean this will be awesome.
Well, let me
Everybody's gonna wanna
put it
come.
this way, Nick.
Check that
If a
out.
coach is looking for a challenge, he certainly picked
Oh, yeah.
one here.
They've got a lot to work with.
Yeah, because they probably averaged one win over the last 5 years. So.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are going to be some kids, parents. Oh, that'll be great playing for. Like the caller said, he's
Yeah,
a
you
living
think so?
legend. I mean, I think
absolutely.
everybody. He probably could run for governor and win. I mean, that was again
Probably
12,
anyway,
12 years ago.
State senator out of Caledonia
And
County.
people
anyway.
still remember him.
Sure.
Yeah.
And of course, going to UVM, being one of our own, being a Vermonter, true Vermonter.
I think that's great news
Yeah,
for
I
MVU.
think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait personally to get back there and check out
Yep.
that team next year because I think
Yeah,
that,
that's very
I think they're
cool.
definitely going to win a couple of games at least.
Now, you're headed to Linden next month, right?
Yes.
So I'm
about a
going to
month
ask
from
a
now.
question, and I didn't know this until I saw it in the news, that Johnson and Linden Duke are going to be called
Oh, yeah, that's
Northern Vermont.
Northern Vermont.
University of Northern Vermont at Johnson and at Linden.
Yeah.
Yes. UNV.
And they said the people were kind of split, but people that went to Linden wanted their own identity.
Yeah.
Kids at Johnson wanted
I
their
think
own
it came
identity.
down to money. As I hardly have to tell you, Vermont's not awash in money. I think it's saving, you can see some
Yeah.
understandable
Yeah.
savings
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
cut down to just
Saving
one
them like,
administration for everything.
several
so-
mil a year, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like it made
So
sense.
what's it called? Northern Vermont University?
University of Northern Vermont at Johnson and at
Yeah.
Linden, I believe. UNV.
UNV. That
Not
sounds-
UNLV, but
I know,
UN
it sounds big time, doesn't it?
yeah, I think University of Northern Vermont.
Yeah. And of course, Linden State is best known for
Of course, meteorology.
Jim Cantori.
Jim
Jim
Cantori from the Weather
most
Channel.
Famous guy on the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
I like Johnson State. My kid last for about maybe 5 summers now has been to kind of an academic camp at Johnson State. The campus is beautiful. Of course, my good friend Tyrone Shaw kind of heads up the journalism department there. I would kill for anybody I know to be under Tyrone. He's great. Johnson State's, place has some life to it.
Let
Yeah.
me put
Mr.
you.
David Hutchinson, longtime city resident,
Yeah.
longtime prof at Johnson State.
Let me turn the clock back a half century. Here's the
I
Duke.
can relate.
Duke and Hingham High.
Showing up at Duke University.
Okay. The Hingham High
Harbormen.
Harbormen.
Probably Harbor women too.
Okay. You're pretty close to an expert on weather. Would you, if you were 17 years
Usually
old,
you're way too kind.
if you were
but-
17 years old all over again, knowing what you know now, would you
Yeah.
consider a career in meteorology?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've always said if I didn't jump into journalism, where hopefully I haven't embarrassed myself too much. Weather. I mean, I love weather. I love
Right.
writing about the
Yeah.
weather and stuff. Well, especially with the way journalism, in my low tech body and stuff. I mean, journalism
Low tech.
would be like the last thing I'd consider these days. But
Yeah, 'cause it's
oh
all
yeah,
media
I'd say
these days.
that would have been number 2. Unfortunately, I'm nowhere with science and stuff, but I love weather.
But you would have learned that. So let me
Maybe.
put a comparison. You're a meteorologist in New England versus being the head meteorologist at the local channel in San Diego. What do you do when you're a meteorologist in San Diego?
it'd be a pretty
when the
dull
weather
life.
is almost identical every single day. How about just put mostly sunny, high is 76 for the next 365
You know, you raised
days?
I've never thought about that. My guess would be the San Diego market probably doesn't spend a gazillion bucks on weather. That's a great point. Of course, you go up the coast and stuff. Obviously, the weather
Then it
changes.
changes
but even like
drastically.
Monterey, Central Calif, that's so tough because on the coast you might have a 75-degree day. Go inland 20 miles to Salinas. John Steinbeck fan.
Yes.
You got maybe 20 degrees warmer. San Fran, the microclimate's just in the city. That's a different ballgame. But I hear you.
Now-
I wouldn't think they'd be spending a ton of money on weather in San Diego.
If you're challenging my intellect when you said Salinas, would that not be the grapes of wrath?
Yeah, very good.
John
Right
Steinbeck,
on top
thank
of
you
that,
very
yeah.
much. I just didn't want you to like down talk me.
Good. No, I certainly wasn't trying to do that. Good job, Hawk. Yeah, we're talking Monterey County, but just in that county, just depending on where you are, the weather can be so different. And like San Fran, literally in the city, my kid's brother's a San Fran, Oakland guy. I mean, you literally have microclimates just in the city, if that's the word. It's unreal.
And I ask
Fog
you
comes into certain
every
places,
year,
and
the Nats will be playing the Giants, and people literally in the
Oh,
middle
sure.
of July will be wearing toques because
absolutely.
it's so
Hey,
cold.
the
in San
famous, I think,
Francisco.
was it an All-Star game? Stu Miller blown off the mound, pitching in
Oh.
an All-Star game
That was a lot of years ago.
at the stick, right? At the stick.
Yeah, candlestick. Yeah. Yeah. So back to baseball, since we're deep into it. Again, the trade deadline is 4 o'clock Monday
So
afternoon.
what about your Nats? Are your Nats going to
Well,
do
the
anything?
caller mentioned Sonny Gray. We've had a very good relationship with Billy Bean over the years. We've made a ton of trades.
Really?
So I could see Gray coming.
Does
to
it go without saying that Oakland will unload Sonny Gray or not quite?
Yeah, they
I
will.
think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alonso. But if the Yankees want Alonso, I'm not so sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. They just moved Chase Headley to first base. Alonso is a better player,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how they're dealing with their salary cap because the Red Sox are right at the salary cap right now. They really, truly don't want to go
Sounds
over
like
that.
they don't want to go
They're
over it.
making a point not to take
Yeah.
on salary. The other pitchers a caller mentioned, Yu Darvish, Texas has given up the season.
I just read actually that the Red Sox were on the list of 10 teams that Darvish doesn't want to be traded to, which
Yeah.
I found kind
Is
of
that right?
interesting.
Doesn't want to
yeah.
be? Imagine
They
someone
wouldn't
not
want the
wanting to go
pressure
to
of pitching in
Boston.
Boston.
Justin Verlander, who's just a shadow of himself.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, didn't he marry a hottie? I mean, a really gorgeous
Yeah, Kate
woman.
Upton.
As in Kate.
Kate Upton.
Kate
Bingo. Okay, Nick, you marry Kate Upton. How focused are you going to be on baseball? Not very.
Not
Okay.
as much as I was before.
That's a very safe
Well,
answer.
it doesn't. Well, I guess my quick counter to that is it doesn't seem to have harmed Tom Brady a
And-
whole lot.
I said when Tom Brady married Giselle
Bunchkin.
Bunchkin, I said, as great as Tom Brady is, he will never be that status anymore because look what he's
Yeah.
not going to want to leave home. And
Sounds like he
completely
hasn't
opposite.
gone down a notch. Sounds like he still gets whatever
Yeah.
the top parking spot for being the first guy to show up and stuff.
yeah, and Brady's only 40, and he said he wants to play till 50.
Boy, it sounds like
And
he
you know
sounds
what?
like
Brady's
he's
just
dead
got that
serious.
competitive fire in him, though.
In the-
That I don't
The,
know.
the, the, the one the big Patriot issue, which has been lingering for a year or two, is just the Jimmy G situation. In his last year of the contract, I mean, I guess we talked about it before. I get the sense that the Pats are so loaded, they are being wicked serious. When I've criticized them some years in the past, hey, get one more good receiver for Brady, and you would have had probably another
Yeah.
Super Bowl or
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
This year, they're so loaded. It just seems like they're saying, hey, you know, we got Brady, but if he goes down, Jimmy G, we should have enough to win it with Jimmy G.
But the thing about Brady,
yeah,
and again, I talk a lot of sports with my buddy Joe. He is more of a mentalist on the football field. I think he can dissect a defense better than anybody.
Oh, there's no doubt.
It's not like, you know, he's like a Ben Roethlisberger would throw it through the wall, that type of thing. He just stands out among himself. So,
and it
Why
doesn't
do you
hurt.
think he only throws 2-3 interceptions a year?
his
max?
mental capacity will only get better as he gets older.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because when he doesn't have a shirt on, he doesn't have a muscle on his body. If they can protect him, I have no doubt he can play till he's 45
And I
years
came
old.
across on Comcast.net, they were getting into that very issue. I think just last night I was watching for a little bit, saying that, you know, he's a smart guy, that he's very good about protecting himself. Obviously, it helps if the O-line's good, and after a terrible effort a couple of years ago in the playoffs, very good last year, but he's very good about knowing when to taking care of his body,
Exactly.
obviously.
And I think he's in China right
in
now,
China
or
now?
has been, to learn secrets of your body. And the thing about Brady, if he physically can't do something anymore, he simply won't do it. He won't broadcast it to the world. He won't do it. But, you know, all I have to say, Nick, at the tender age of 18, you've seen the greatest football player of all time, and just cherish.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I heard, I don't, and I forget who I was listening to.
I've always said Jimmy Brown was the greatest ever.
Yeah. But on Sports Talk, I heard it was a couple guys going back and forth saying, I think you can make a case that they weren't saying Brady's overhyped, but they certainly weren't necessarily buying into the greatest ever. But I didn't hear them too long.
All right, throw some. Again, Jimmy
it seems
Brown
like a pretty easy
might have
case
only
to
played
make.
8 years, if
Is
that,
that
for the
all he-
Cleveland Browns.
Did he just get tired or injured?
He
Or
retired, no, 1966 season, after the season, at age 29, to
Really?
go on the movies, where he was not a very good actor. He was in the Dirty Dozen, you know.
But why he retired? Because, of course, he wasn't getting much money then.
No, they didn't make money. Back then, everybody had
But
a
that's
summer
unreal.
job.
He retired at 29.
29.
Wow.
You know, he had still 5 good seasons. People would bounce off him.
Well,
But
he was so.
listen,
he was
I'm not
so
a New
tough.
England Patriot or Tom Brady
I know.
cheerleader. I'm
Oh,
a Giant.
for
But
sure.
I just, as a football fan, I put Tom Brady right up in the annals of Babe Ruth being the king of baseball.
Really? Wow.
Your argument for hockey, a lot of people will say Wayne Gretzky.
Gordie Howe might get
Gor-
some
Howe,
more.
I
Bobby Orr
personally
up there.
would
Didn't
pick
Gordie,
Bobby.
play till he was like about 50
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
Bobby Orr, to me, transcended the game. But that's, you know, a debatable argument. You know, basketball, a lot of people say Michael Jordan. You know, even though Bill Russell might have only averaged 12 points a game, he averaged 20 some odd rebounds.
What a player.
In a very different game.
Right, it was
albeit,
different in the
Very.
60s.
But, yeah.
But Tom Brady,
Quintessential team player, Bill Russell.
and on my deathbed, I can, you know, I will say it was a pleasure watching Tom Brady play. And again,
I mean, you
What
can't
about in
really-
your
you can't
football
argue that.
conversations with your football guys? Do most people buy that when you're talking football?
yeah, I think what happened with Brady this year is he put an exclamation point at the end of his name. And again, you just watch him play. And I've told you too, when they show the all-time best 2-minute quarterbacks, Brady's not there. Do you know why? Because he never puts himself in position where he has to win with 2 minutes.
Or not that often, although he's certainly done
it
that
happens,
more than a few
but
times.
he usually decimates
Last year's
teams.
Super Bowl comes to mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching the Super Bowl last year, and I honestly, after the first half, I was
boy.
thinking, maybe this is it for Brady. Maybe this is his last real hurrah
I was
here.
in Florida
And
as per usual. I was freaked.
then, and then, sure enough, I knew that. I just had a feeling that me thinking that was just going to set Brady off, and sure
Unreal.
enough, it did.
And as I told you, the Julian Edelman, unbelievable, miraculous catch.
Oh, yeah.
I've stopped having nightmares about your good buddy David Tyree.
Yeah.
That was enough to that's
we're
a
okay
wash.
now.
That's okay.
Yeah, but that comeback last year, then the interception that Russell Wilson threw a couple years before that.
Thank you, Malcolm Butler.
Where
That's
everybody
my
is-
one beef with the Pats that they're, for whatever reason, sounds like Butler's gone after one more year. I'm glad we have him for one more year.
And I don't have New England's schedule in front of me, but I'm sure they have a ton of night games because the networks love.
You would think.
putting New England.
NBC doesn't usually want them too much on Sunday Night Football. Usually NBC loves the Cowboys and the Giants.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll play a lot.
And I will tell you,
Thursday
I
night's their
complain
first game.
every
Monday nights.
year. This is the 4th out of the last 5 years that the Giants and Cowboys. That is one of the premier games
So
of
you
all
would
of football.
save it, wait till you get into the
It's
season?
like when
Red
the
Sox
Yankees
and
the Yankees play in April.
Yeah.
It's still snow on the ground.
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of
Or to
playoffs.
start
and
the
right
season.
now, the Yankees are game out. I would rather have that April series now.
Well,
So-
especially when they open the season. I mean,
Exactly.
you might have one series in April, but why would you ever open the season with Red Sox and Yankees?
right. It's
I mean,
so
Red Sox and Padres will sell out the place.
Oh yeah, I
But-
mean everybody's missing baseball by the time opening day.
But you
comes
know, it's
around.
Dallas
We'll
and
have any game.
New York in that Eastern Division. Why put them the first game? We could play, the Sisters of St. Mary's, and I would be happy because it's the first week of football. I'll watch them play anybody.
What about the Skins? Any? The Skins were
Even them.
they were a decent team last year,
They
weren't they?
faded the Kirk Cousins situation, and you can get into that, Nick.
That's crazy.
So what? Finally, saw what? One year?
They tendered him for the second season. You only can tender him twice.
They
So
traded-
he's
franchise
a
tag.
free agent after this year. And
Like
basically,
23 mil or something?
yeah,
Yeah, they
23.
offered him to be like the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. That's absolutely
Yeah.
crazy.
In basic economics 101, the law of supply and demand. And I can't explain why colleges are not developing quarterbacks right now. I don't know why. But there are not many good quarterbacks coming out
I
of
mean,
college
look at the
right now.
draft class. That the quarterbacks that were taken in the first round of the draft this year were just absolute reaches.
The kid from North Carolina, Mitch Trubisky.
Never even heard of that kid until the
Okay.
draft.
He's started 13 games in his college career.
Of course,
And
his
North
last
Carolina
game for the
wasn't even that good. They
his last game for
lost
I had
5
lunch with
games.
my Duke friend Roy yesterday, who's so into the Dukies, but he was at that game.
Okay.
The Dukies beat North Carolina. Duke, not
Yeah.
a great Duke team
Yeah.
last year. They beat them.
Yeah, North Carolina wasn't any good. I still to this day don't know why Mitch Trubisky was up there.
Yeah.
It speaks, as we say, just to the incredible dearth of
And the
college
first
QBs.
2 players last season, Jared Goff to the Rams and Carson
Mr.
Wentz
Wentz.
to the Eagles. Well,
Carson
Eagles,
Wentz has turned out to be
Carson Wentz
okay.
In 1 year.
went to
give
a
him
more
few years.
established team with the Eagles. They're a decent team, not a great team. Goff did not play well during training camp. I think Jeff Fisher, the coach, got fired because he wasn't playing Goff. And when he got in there week 9 or 10, he didn't play well. And again, I say every time with Goff, I give the kid a flyer. Okay, now he's had a full year to learn the playbook. He is the starter. Now, one question I have for you guys. The Los Angeles Chargers, which is even harder than, say, the Los
God,
Angeles
a bad
Rams.
time. How ridiculous. LA didn't have a football team for how many years?
Right. Now, Nick,
Unbelievable.
they're playing in a 30,000 seat stadium in California. I'm not sure what town they're playing in.
Is that, they are? 30,
Yes, it's a 30.
They didn't
Yeah,
play in
they're
the
playing in the-
They're
Coliseum.
not playing in the Coliseum.
Yeah,
No,
they're
sir.
playing in the LA Galaxy soccer stadium.
Is that what?
Is that
Okay.
right? Why?
Yeah,
Why not the Coliseum?
couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, that fits.
I don't even know if they'll be able
Okay,
to sell that out, honestly.
That's
What town is that in? I was right outside LA. I
Maybe
would
an LA
guess.
I
suburb.
think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
Wow,
going to be
that's-
very strange.
Of course, they're for the record, they're starting to build a new stadium, right?
A
Yeah,
2 point
Well, they
something
had-
billion dollar
Have they
facility.
started building this
I
thing?
think they have. They'll share with the Rams.
But another couple, obviously,
But
not
I've
ready
never
for a
looked at
couple of
LA
years.
as a great football town.
Well, hey,
Never.
there wasn't a football team there for years. That says it all.
You know, the Oakland Raiders went down a number of years ago, became the Los Angeles Raiders, moved back to Oakland.
Yeah.
And of course, the Oakland Raiders are moving
They're
to
Vegas
Vegas.
band.
When?
Couple
Next
They
year?
have to build a stadium. Aren't they building?
Yeah,
a
they're
sta-
building a
They're
stadium.
building
build
a
a stadium.
stadium.
I think so.
However, they may have to.
19, I think.
I think they may be moving after the season, and they may be playing in like
Really?
University of Nevada Stadium.
UNLV's got a football
UNLV,
team.
something like
Oh,
that.
Really?
And again,
So
Vegas.
last year in Oakland.
Yeah, Vegas ain't cheap either. They're building themselves
Yeah.
a big time stadium.
I actually heard that this was a while back that I heard this, but something about how they had one of the major backers in the for the stadium. Actually, he
It was,
backed
yeah,
out.
Sheldon is a guy who's thrown a lot of money at some of the Repubs. Sheldon, Adelson,
Okay.
whatever. He backed out, but
Yeah.
somebody or the city jumped in pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
but
Okay.
they were having problems building
So
the
I'm
stadium.
begging the
So-
question. Vegas has a hockey team. They'll be
Right.
dropping the puck in about 10 weeks
No.
Yep.
in
And
Vegas.
shouldn't be a bad
I
hockey
think
team.
they can make the playoffs.
They're,
honestly.
they've
Really?
got a football
Wow.
team. Okay, the Oakland Athletics playing Oakland Alameda.
Oakland Alameda County, stadium.
Might
It's
be-
Alameda County.
Aside from Fenway, if I had to guess without looking, might be the second oldest stadium in the American League now.
Could be.
They've been
heard
like
pretty
somewhere
much
that
of a
they're getting
dump.
rid of that place is closing.
Pretty much of a
Not
dump.
sure.
It's a
I didn't
dump.
look too much in it.
And if you look when they play Oakland,
I almost think I
they
saw a
have the
game
upper
there
deck
decades ago.
all
Yeah.
plastic off, and they say their official capacity is now 35,000. The upper decks.
What are they averaging, Hawk? Do you know?
Um,
Gotta
I
be
didn't bring
teens.
my.
It can't
I'll bring
be
it
more
as
than
a-
teens.
They were 28th out of 30th. With I think it was
Boy, if you're in Oakland.
Tampa.
Oh.
Miami was pretty on the
Yeah.
low on the bottom. So, but I'm saying Oakland would be a natural fit to move to Vegas.
Yeah. If you're an
can see
Oakland A's fan, God, what have you got? They unload every. I mean, they're like the old Expos,
Yes,
except not nearly
yes,
as good.
Absolutely.
Boy, what have you got going for you if you're
Couldn't
an
agree
Oakland
with
A's
you
fan?
more.
Right?
So, but Vegas is a.
Let's not forget to talk golf before the show ends.
We have half
Got a half
hour,
hour.
34 minutes
Got a
to
half
go.
hour plus.
I
Love
will.
more calls, folks.
Okay.
Check in. Love to
One
hear
thing
from
I
you.
want to point out, and you and I disagree on many things, but we agree on free agent pitchers. As good as Chris Sale is, he wishes he could be like Clayton Kershaw. Jesus Christ wishes he could be as good as Clayton Kershaw.
Boy, who's out? Who's got another?
Clayton
out again,
Kershaw,
huh? Wow.
15-2, 2.04 with a .88 whip.
Won their last 13, just about every start with them, obviously.
Left the mound the other day
Back
with a back injury. He missed. Max Scherzer won the Cy Young last year. He's great, but he's no Clayton
No Clayton
Kershaw.
Kershaw.
Clayton
And
Kershaw's
the
on a
reason
different-
Kershaw, because he didn't get enough games in to really. Okay,
Any news on this latest injury?
he's on the DL right now, and this is my point to you: is when Clayton, if David Price is worth 31 million.
Oh, God.
Okay, Clayton
Should triple it.
Kershaw's got a
Quadruple
resume like none other. Okay, Clayton Kershaw is one of the top 5 pitchers of all time. He is
Sounds
that
like he can definitely
good.
make that
Okay.
case, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's worth to me minimum $40 million. Okay. What do you do, Duke? You're a Red Sox.
You
got
hope
plenty of
David
money.
Price goes away
Well,
after,
but-
next year?
You got okay. I've had back issues more of like I'm
just
4
health-wise?
pounds overweight. Okay.
Well, I would be tempted to give him like the next, say, Clayton, great year. We got playoffs coming up. Why don't you take the next couple of months off?
You
is
know what, Duke?
I'd be tempted
right
to do.
now in the current situation with LA up. At least
They're
I've got
way
the records
ahead,
here.
right? Hey,
Let me
kudos
tell you
to old friend
exactly.
Dave Roberts, Red Sox savior,
Great
Dave
job
Roberts,
over
who
there,
has a very secure place in Red Sox
Yep.
lore.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are 12.5 up on Colorado and Arizona, so they're safe. But I would extra rush them. But my
I would
point
go
is,
so
I
easy
believe
with him.
he's got 2 years left on his contract.
At about Price's money, somewhere around there,
What,
25, 30 mil?
Right. Price
Yeah,
is
I
getting
believe so.
31.
31. Over $1 million to
But
start.
do sign him. I mean, he's going to want.
Just because, the
of
concern
his
being
back.
injuries.
Right. And you talk to anybody out there with a
He had,
back
what, a
problem.
herniated disc before, right? That's what
Right.
knocked him out
And
last
I think
year?
that's what the issue is again. Okay. Because we've always, it's such a huge risk signing a pitcher.
Yeah.
That-
Unless, can you get insurance? I mean,
Oh, they probably
can you cover yourself with insurance for something
Yeah.
like that to some extent?
you know.
That's a
Now-
good question.
Steven Strasburg. Okay. And I've had a lot of people, boy, Hawk, Strasburg's never really lived up to the hype. Do you know what? Who's got the 4th best active ERA in baseball?
Is that
Really?
Steven Strasburg.
right?
Kershaw is
of all
one-
current players.
Yeah, of all current players, Strasburg is there.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
he's
impressive.
definitely
He's been a
top
very
10 pitcher.
good pitcher.
He just got so much. I mean, unfortunately for him,
Injuries.
he was just
Tommy
the
John.
second coming.
Well,
he
he's
just got so
pitching-
much hype early
Right.
on.
He's pitching the other day, shaking his arm.
Just to mention
I
that.
tell you, every time he pitches, I'm just waiting for him to break
Oh,
down.
really?
So he went 2 innings.
Really?
Pitching coach came out.
Really?
He went out after 2 innings.
What was the story?
His arm couldn't get loose, and I'm going to
Really?
myself
Wow.
at that point. It's the middle of July.
So
It's
every
85 degrees.
every game you're worried about him, huh?
And He's got to start this weekend. I'm almost thinking they may have to bring up a minor league pitcher.
Really?
The Nationals, they're up 11 and a half games, I think.
Wow.
They have no pitching depth whatsoever. They need a starting pitcher because of they don't have a number 5 guy right
Boy, you
now.
think,
and if Strasburg goes down,
They could be in
Boy, even if he
trouble.
doesn't go down, you might think about just, hey, Steve, why don't you, head out to the beautiful Delmarva for a couple of weeks.
do you
We'll
know
catch
what
you a
I
little
think?
later.
And it may
And I
not
go back to Brady. Brady missing 4 games last season might have been, well,
Right.
not to mention the Garoppolo connection. I mean, that might have been the best thing that ever happened to those guys.
because I think if I'm general manager, and I know it's not the way to run a team because you got 24 other guys, but a guy like Kershaw or Strasburg,
I think you can
I'd
cut
give
him
him
some
20
slack.
bucks, tell him, pick up a 30-pack of Ultra, Michelob Ultra, have some beers, sit at your pool, relax, don't think about baseball, and we'll call you in 3 weeks,
Yeah.
see how things are going.
Hawk, the one knock, because I hardly have to tell you on Kershaw, is just postseason. You just totally, because we certainly beat up our friend
true,
Leonard,
yeah.
and kudos to Leonard on his second hole-in-one. Way to
Oh.
go, LP.
Yes.
But again, we certainly beat him up. You do, and I do too, on the Braves.
Oh, absolutely.
Leonard loves
Rightly
to talk
so.
about the Braves' incredible run there, and it was incredible. But netting all of one World Series. So what about that criticism? Hey, unreal pitcher, but what about postseason? Is that an irrelevant issue to
It's
you?
relevant.
I mean, Price gets hung
However,
on that, of
you've
course.
got 6 months to get a team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But no, it's,
I think that's
it's
the one-
part,
it's the
it's
one
part of
slight-
his resume.
slight knock
right,
on him.
where David Price, up till his Red Sox tenure, has had a great career, but a lousy postseason.
And a more legit knock in his case.
Yeah.
Although one drop pop-up did cost him one win there a couple of years
And-
ago.
I think that you could look at, he could definitely change that this year and next year too.
Yeah.
I think the Dodgers, this is their best year, the best chance they've had in a couple of years.
Yeah.
at
Good team.
least.
That sounds like a great park. I'd love to.
The
I
NL's a
spent
little
one
bit
night of my night,
struggling this year.
one night of my life in LA, but the Dodgers ballpark, Chavez Ravine, just looks like just still a pretty nice ballpark.
And
I guess
that-
in a nice section of the city.
That was Chavez Ravine.
Chavez Ravine.
Okay, when that
The area
that
where it is.
acreage was given to the Brooklyn Dodgers
that
to
right?
entice them.
Come on
When
out, we got
they
a nice
had a
place
bunch
for
of
you.
Mexicans, illegal aliens living in that section. Okay, it was poor Mexicans living there,
All right.
and the local government just pushed
Something
them all
tells
out.
me there probably wasn't a huge uproar
There
about
was not
throwing
an
them
outcry
out.
over that because they couldn't believe. And of course, people will remember when the Dodgers came to LA, they played in the LA Coliseum.
Who could forget
And
the left field?
Left field was
a
200
250 or something?
It was, you could spit and get it over until they built, what's the name of the
I guess
ballpark?
those are just,
Dodger Stadium.
Just
Dodger
Dodger
Stadium.
And you know what? That stadium is like 60 years old, and it still holds up well.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it
to
looks
this
like
day.
it's a place I'd love to see a game
Oh,
sometime.
yeah, no doubt.
But the problem too with the trade deadline is this wild card. National League is all set. Chicago will eventually.
The Cubbies are certainly getting their act
Cubbies are a
together.
half game out of the Brewers, so Cubs will win that division. Washington will play Chicago in the first round.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a done deal. Dodgers will play the wild card team, which at this point looks like Arizona and Colorado will vie for
That'll
that.
be a fun series to
Wow.
watch.
It will be.
definitely.
But the problem in the American League, Kansas City is hot right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and
That's who the Red Sox are playing starting at
I'm
10
going to
wins
go
right
on
now.
record right now, Duke, to tell you I'm predicting Kansas City is a game and a half behind Cleveland.
Really?
Now Cleveland's won 5 straight. They're not playing bad ball.
That's who the Red Sox play after Kansas City.
The Royals have a 7-game winning streak, and they may pick up another body. When they weren't playing well earlier in the season, Moustakas and all those guys probably would have been on the market, but they've really picked up their game.
Yeah, they found
But the Red Sox, I'm still giving a great assumption will win the East. We'll play the Central Division guy because Houston's still far up.
Yeah.
And Houston will play the wild card team. But that's my issue, is they're
But AL East, I
1,
think it's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
and we
8
haven't
teams.
we haven't even talked about Tampa Bay.
Right.
Those guys are hanging pretty tough
Yeah.
still.
They
There are
look good this
8
year.
teams within 4 games. I'll throw LA out, Texas out. I'll throw Minnesota out. So that'll leave Seattle, Tampa, Kansas City, and New York Yankees for the 4 or 2 spots. you know, Kansas City or Cleveland will get one wild card spot, and you have to think Yankees are going to pick up another body or two by Monday.
So the AL East will likely be the other, you would think would be the other wild card?
Yeah, the Yankees and Cleveland or Kansas City will be the other one.
Or the Red Sox. Maybe you're, I don't know why.
I know.
Given what we're talking about with the Red Sox issues, why are you conceding them first place?
The players aren't
ahead
playing
of the
as
Yanks.
well as they should be.
They're one game
Right,
ahead of the Yanks.
I agree with you. However, number one pitching means
The Yanks
a
pick
lot.
up Sonny. If the Yanks pick up Sonny
That
Gray,
could be right.
I think I would almost give them a slight favorite
Yep.
over the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But
I
kudos
guess
to
I could
Dave
see
Handy
that.
when he talked about the Red Sox need a first baseman and said, "Geez, Dave, Moreland's playing well.
Lack
They
of-
got him for
lack of
$6.5
production.
million for one season.
He's just starting to wear. He seems like he's just starting to wear.
He's got about
doing
95 strikeouts.
He's doing what Travis Shaw did last year for the Red Sox. Travis is hanging in for the Brewers, but he's just
Hanging in.
again. They saw him as a part-time player. He's played just about every
Yeah.
game.
Well, he's a great defender too.
He's a good defender, but it's pain.
Yeah.
But
I'm
Duke,
just down. I'm just kind of down on these
Dude,
guys.
not that I want the New York Mets one game behind me right now. I'm happy with 11.5 game
Yeah.
lead. But I can tell you, when we lose a game, I'm not going, nor am I scoreboard watching.
Is that right?
So at least,
You're watching every game.
oh yeah, they're
course.
recording right now, playing Arizona. But so at least you're having some fun with,
Oh, I
you know,
got you. Well, I mean, fun, but I would I'd flip
Right.
flip situations
Right.
with you in a second.
Yeah, it's really a toss-up right now in the AL.
but when I say fun, where every game is
Yeah,
meaningful.
I hear you.
You know, like a Strasburg, like if a Red Sox had an injury to a pitcher, they're going to want to rush him back because
Yeah.
you're only up a game.
need him, yeah.
Strasburg, you can say you skip a start or two.
Yeah, very different situations.
Okay, so British Open, or known as the Open.
The Open
Okay,
Championship.
so I'm golfing, Nick, Sunday with Duke. First words out of his mouth, Hawk, don't say a single word about golf. And I said to Duke, don't worry, I'm recording it. I don't know a thing.
Joe knew.
told-
All Joe said was, "Well, watch it." That's all
Yeah.
he said.
I told Duke a white
course I
lie.
didn't do.
I recorded it. Figured it was going to be an outstanding final round. Before I went to golf, because sometimes I'll talk news with Duke on the course. So I just clicked on to get the world and national news
Oh,
headlines.
No, did you see a
I'm an
scroll?
idiot. This is a major.
That's
That is-
happened before,
That is a
right?
major story, even if you don't like golf.
Yeah.
And I see a picture of Jordan Spieth with a Claremont jug,
Clara jug.
whatever the jugs he's holding out to.
C-L-A-R-E-T.
And
Oh, you're kidding me.
and
You just didn't want to tell me.
and I had it all recorded. And like I said before, Nick, it's not like I'm going to sit there and watch 8 hours. What I do, Nick and Duke are the 1 and 2 guys. Okay, Nick's wearing a red striped shirt. Duke's wearing a gray shirt. I know when I fast forward, I will see every Nick shot. I'll see every Duke shot. And I said, and about a 20% of time, I said, this is great. That was great. Okay, so I already knew. Okay, when you know the result, Nick, that is 99% of it, okay?
Yeah.
If I told you tonight the Red Sox, well, for example, you already know the Red Sox won 4-0.
Yeah.
Are you going to race home right now if you record? Of course not. So I told you I didn't know, but it was a
So
white lie.
did you end up watching
Joe
it or
told
not?
me it was outstanding finish. You still should watch it, but
So you didn't.
It ruins
Cat
it.
was out of the bag.
Yeah, well,
So
I
go
blew
ahead
it.
and
I was
talk
looking.
about
I
it.
was looking for Golf Channel, but the replay didn't start.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking because the night before the replay had been, I think, at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
But it was later, so I conceded. And actually, I was working at had to get up Monday morning when you were still up. I was writing at 4:30 Monday morning. I had a crazy week. So anyway, I watched the Golf Channel post stuff and saw highlights. So I didn't see all the last round, but yeah, what a round! And geez, Matt Kuchar, poor, Matt Kuchar probably gets hung with the dreaded, best player not to have won a major. He's been close a few times, but hey, I'm quick to say kudos to Matt Kuchar. He's a great guy, and hey, Matt just pocketed over $1 million for second place. He's doing fine, but yeah, did you?
No,
pay-
I
Anyway.
watch one golf tournament a year, and it's the majors.
Is that
and I
right? But
follow
Jordan
it.
Spieth, what an effort! Of course, his last, had the incredible year a couple of years ago. 2 majors, was in contention. Wasn't too far from a Grand Slam.
Yes.
But then, of course, he had his Masters meltdown
Yep.
2 Masters ago and stuff. So he went into the last round, and it was just pretty much Jordan and Kuchar. 3 strokes ahead, I guess, going into the last round. And I did watch the first few holes live.
Okay.
And Spieth gets off to a bad start, bogeyed 3 of the first 4
Yeah.
holes after no bogeys, and what, a 65 the day before.
Yeah.
So it's tight, and then you can jump in at that point. But the 13th hole will live in infamy or fame,
So
whatever, depending on your point of view.
I didn't watch it, so
But on the 13th, at that point, let's see, at that point I think it might be even. It's very close, I think even. And Spieth hits, he just loses it way to the right. And I guess the driving range area, it's like 75 yards off. I mean, just way the heck to the right. And so he goes over, they find the ball, he gets this in a bush. So the one puzzling thing was, I saw the comment that, well, Spieth was smart enough to kind of ask, to wonder, is this out of bounds? Well, it seems like that would be the first question you'd ask. But I guess he didn't hit a provisional, so I guess it was reasonably clear it wasn't out of bounds. But in the driving range area, it was in a bush. You had to take an unplayable. And the one issue, and it sounds like Kuchar was totally cool with this. Kuchar just seems like he's an ACC guy, Georgia Tech guy.
Are you talking about the 21-minute delay?
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
The 13th hole, 21 minutes.
Right.
So again, it takes a while. I mean, they find the ball, I guess, easily enough. And I guess it was easy enough to determine no white stakes. It's not out of bounds. But then the thing was, taking an unplayable lie, but he had all like the TV trucks and stuff in his way. So it took quite a while to figure out where he could hit the shot from. Obviously, he can't be closer to the pin. So that's what took some time. But it sounds like Kuchar, and I know Spieth apologized as soon as he saw him
On the
later,
green.
later on the green.
Yeah.
And kudos to Kuchar, who there would have been some golfers who probably
I'd say
wouldn't
about
have been
80% of
wouldn't have
them
been too happy.
would have been ripped.
Kuchar, of course, it probably helped that Kuchar was on the green in 2.
Yes.
And had nothing to worry about that hole. Anyway, so finally they figure out where he's going to hit the ball. There's a huge dune there. It's a blind shot easily. And then it was a back and forth. Nice article in the Free Press today about Doug Ferguson, your veteran AP golf writer, great writer, about Spieth's caddy. Important lesson. Spieth's caddy is an ex-math teacher who has a way with words. But as you're pondering, and I love Spieth. Spieth I've never heard him say I. I had a great round. It's always we.
Yeah,
He
those are the
gives
best kinda
total
guys.
credit to his caddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then the issue was he can't see the green. He knows kind of the line, and he wants to hit a 3-wood. He's saying it's about 270 yards to the green, and Greller says, no, Jordan, I don't think it's that far. I think it's more like 230. Hit a 3-iron. And again, it does come down to Jordan Spieth. He's the guy
Right.
swinging the club, but he listened to his caddy, hit a 3-iron, and after he hit it, he's not happy. He didn't think he hit a good shot. In fact, he got a little lucky with those pot bunkers, those killer bunkers.
Yep.
He hit it, great line to the green just before the bunkers. Then he ends up chipping up and makes a 7-foot putt for a miraculous bogey. Talk
Yep.
about the best bogey
Exactly.
of his career. I guess Kuchar 2-putted. So at that point, Kuchar got up by 1 stroke, I think. But again, I think Greller said, hey, you survived. You're the man. And then Spieth just goes crazy after that. What?
Eagle?
So that was 13. 15's a par 5. Birdie's a 14th to get it back to even, I think. Eagle's a 15th. Get up to by 2 strokes. Birdie's a 6th. Did he birdie his way in? I think it was birdie, eagle, birdie anyway. And Kuchar even got a late birdie, and Jordan Spieth matches it.
Yeah.
And then on the last hole, Kuchar had to chip in or putt in to have any chance, and he went by, so he got a bogey, and but incredible, great last round.
Yeah. And again, what an idiot! Turn on your computer on the last round, and of
boy,
course,
that hurt.
was it
That's too
5
bad.
hours time difference?
5 hours, yeah.
So, they were done by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
And Spieth's comment was, this is as much mine as it is his, a reference to his caddy. Actually, he
Okay.
probably should have put it, this is as much his as mine, but that's okay.
Okay.
But I love how he gives just so much. We'll
that's
see.
cool, and guys
I mean,
realize.
Mr. McKay hung in with Mickelson for 25 years. You think these guys would be together for a while?
Now, did Spieth
Yeah.
win any tournaments this year?
Oh, yeah, he's won a couple. He won, I think, Kapalua. He won one of the Hawaii, one of the first 2 in Hawaii, and he won one within
That
the
wasn't
last month
Justin
or so.
Thomas I
Oh,
usually,
when there were 2 in Hawaii. Maybe
Sony
it was Justin.
being the second.
I think he won Sony.
Yeah.
And he won one within the last month or so.
because I've been
He had 2
whining every
wins.
week that the bunch of
bunch of
nobodies have been
no-names.
winning
Right.
every week, and having a American, first of all, to win,
Right.
and a young, notable
Yeah,
American.
no, he's had a couple wins, and also he gets maybe a break. The PGA's at Quail Hollow, Charlotte, North Carolina, next month, and I think Spieth has won
you
that
been
tourney
there?
a couple. I
Driven
haven't.
by it?
No, Charlotte doesn't. I haven't given Charlotte much attention.
How far is Charlotte from Durham?
About Greensboro's about an hour west. Charlotte's about
an
maybe
hour and a
another hour and a half.
Okay.
2.5, not more than 3. Just Piedmont. The
Did
three
you
big.
spend any time ever in
No,
Charlotte?
I mean I'm in the triangle. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Very, very little time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a sprawling city. It's a big city.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
banking city.
Yeah, I was down there
Oh, is that?
a couple months ago.
that's right.
yeah.
Nick
Yeah.
can tell you better
What
than
are
I
you doing
can.
down in Carolina?
Oh, we went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. NASCAR Hall of Fame.
You're a race car fan?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this before. You must.
I
must
was
have
not.
missed.
No, he took my
Oh,
place.
Tell Hawk about talk
You-
NASCAR. for a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. I mean, I've been into it. It's really the first sport I got into as a kid.
Wow.
And I've always been into it, and now me and my brother watch all the races. And
That would be my brother and I, but keep going.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, did
And,
you go to Thunder Road? Was it Kyle
Yep.
Busch who was there?
Yeah, my little
Last
brother. He's
week.
actually
Kyle.
a Kyle Busch fan,
you
so
were
we
there.
had to be there. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, and that
He
was
ended
cool.
up getting what in a wreck, as did the governor in that
Yeah,
race.
yeah. Kyle ended up spinning out like 2 or 3 times, and
That's so impressive. He showed up. Of course,
Yeah.
he was going to be in New Hampshire,
The
obviously.
following day.
That's what I love about Thunder Road.
But that's
though, is
cool.
You go
Kudos
there
to
and
him.
You see, I mean, NASCAR drivers go there about once a year, once every couple of years.
Nick,
All
do
right.
they give them a little money, appearance money, to get them there?
Good.
I'm not sure. I'm sure.
My guess
I'm
is
sure
they
do,
always
but-
have New Hampshire probably like the next
Yeah,
day and
they
stuff.
always
Now,
do it the
do you
week
know
of
who
the
owns
Hampshire
Thunder
race.
Road?
It's not. It's Ken
course it
Squire
would-
recently sold it.
He sold it. Was just sold within
To
the last
Patrick
few months.
Malone,
Yep, and
which
Chris
you
Michaud.
should know.
Who's the guy
Patrick
who
Malone,
bought-
him and his buddy bought it. Right
Energizer
before the
property.
season. He bought Energizer this past
Oh,
year,
good point.
and he bought Franklin Park West from Phil Gerbode
Okay.
a few
Oh,
years
wow.
ago. And the TV station, we're about
wow,
ready
that's
to
what you know.
purchase a 3/4 acre lot
Oh,
from him next
interesting.
week. His lawyer's away on vacation.
Interesting.
Then we're going to start breaking ground.
I think your
here
local lawyer
in
is a good
in
friend.
August.
I just read Tim Herbert. Tim's a old friend of mine. I think he's been doing your
he's our
local
attorney, yeah.
legal. Tim's a good man.
Yeah, Tim's a good fella. So, but yeah, Pat Malone's got it, and I had a meeting.
Did he buy it with somebody, Hawk? Did he? Was
Yeah,
it
Chris
him and
just,
his buddy.
Chris
Okay.
Michaud, former
Oh,
racer
that's a
there.
great connection to mention.
And I had a meeting with Patrick
Wow.
Malone. It would be 3 years ago, September.
Yeah, what'd you
Had
think?
him meet him in at Franklin Park West. 3 o'clock meeting. Okay, helicopters flying,
Right.
coming right at me. He lands far enough away from me. He comes up. He lives outside of Montpelier. Comes up, and I thought it was Trump. He comes right up, jumps out of his helicopter, and we have a meeting for about 40 minutes.
Really?
And
Decent. Seemed like a decent guy.
down to earth guy.
Really?
I'm sure he's a multimillionaire, but
Yeah.
the blue jeans T-shirt
Wow,
kind of
that's
guy
great.
that you wouldn't even know
That's cool.
the difference.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun going down there, and because the track's so tough, and all those NASCAR drivers go down there, and it constantly. None of them have ever won when they go down there. It
What about, would you consider, every once in a while we'll do something, NASCAR means so little, but I kind of feel like I should hit Thunder Road sometime.
No!
You wouldn't consider
No,
it?
but I'll tell you what.
It's worth $20
I talked
a
to
head.
my
It's
brother.
Not the cheapest date, but I guess they charge.
It's
He
not
likes
even $20 a
Talladega.
That's what I've read. Not,
David
think it's
Handy's been
12
down there.
maybe?
I'm sure he
Talladega's
has.
where it's the noisiest
Yeah.
place.
Talladega's big
Right.
time.
If you said Hawk,
Charlotte Motor
for a
Speedway.
life experience, and I know nothing about auto racing,
Yeah.
and I know there's a science behind racing,
Yeah.
but just to say I've been, like we went to a Montreal
Sure.
game.
Something else.
We just say,
do
Duke, we
we
gotta
even
go.
talk about soccer? Do we talk about an impact game?
We could, right? I hate soccer, couldn't, but I would go to Montreal Impact games.
So Thunder Road, maybe we should give it, doesn't mean much.
Maybe if Nick went and Nick sat between us and could explain to
Anyway.
us what we're watching.
Yeah. Well,
And I could definitely do that. But yeah, I'd go
so
down
how
there as
often
much
do
as
you go
possible.
You go down a few times?
We've been 3 times this summer, I
Oh,
think.
really? Good for you.
Might go another time.
Who do you
or
go
two.
down with?
I'd always just go down with with my mom and my brother. And
Your
we-
mother
Those
likes
guys
auto
go?
racing?
Oh yeah, we've done that for years
cool.
since I was a kid.
How,
So
what's the capacity in there, Nick, roughly?
That's a good question.
I
they
have no clue.
they actually
Talking like 5,
Yeah.
10,000 or something, or
it's got to be between that. I'd say when Kyle Busch was there, I'd say much closer to 10,000.
really?
That looked packed. Didn't
It
look like
was
I didn't see an empty
incredible.
seat
They
in the
don't
highlights.
pack it
So
for Kyle
many
Busch.
people.
Kyle
forget it.
Busch was not happy with his vehicle. Now he
Oh,
borrowed
with his
somebody's,
vehicle?
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
He bought it from Eric Chase, who's from Milton. He races.
He
Really wasn't happy with it?
wait. He bought a car just
Well,
for the race.
I don't know
Or
if he bought it.
He
but
didn't
they-
bring his own car
no,
to Thunder Road.
No,
No,
he
probably
worked
not.
with Eric Chase to build the car and have him drive it and all that. So I don't know if he bought it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
And
but
again,
that,
I
he was
know
driving,
nothing.
Yeah.
He just said he wasn't happy the way the car handled, whatever
Yeah,
that means.
He's full of excuses.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
But I think that's cool he showed, though. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
really
Richard Petty made it to Thunder Road one
Yep.
time, right?
Yeah, Richard
Oh, in
Petty's
fact,
down there.
tell Hawk you talked to
Yeah,
Richard, right?
actually,
Talked to
funny
his
story.
good buddy Richard Petty.
When we went to the Hall of Fame there, we walk in there and sure enough, there's Richard Petty and his driver Eric Almirola just standing there.
When was this?
In April.
yeah,
This
just a
year?
couple months
Yeah.
During
ago.
school vacation.
Yeah.
Now, was there a lot of people there?
There was a decent amount of people, but not enough. I mean, it was maybe 100 people,
Yeah.
and they were inside doing some event for Smithfield Foods, which is the sponsor.
Yeah.
And
Did you specifically go down there for the Hall of Fame, or you had other activities going
yeah,
on?
we went down there for the Hall of Fame, and then we
Great
went.
time. That's when I go down. Great
And-
time to be down south.
Yeah, and then we went to all the race shops and saw the cars getting built and stuff, and that
No,
was
it's
cool.
Again,
cool.
shame on me. I was telling somebody, again, living in St. Albans, Vermont,
Yeah.
never been to Cooperstown.
Hey, beat me up.
I've
Don't
never been
just
to
beat
Springfield.
yourself
You're a
up.
Massachusetts guy. I've never been to Springfield. Nick, on the way back to New York, I ate at Uno's right next door to Springfield Basketball Hall of Fame.
Hey, Hawk,
Why?
beat me up as
Big
much.
sports guy.
I
Why?
heard somebody just raving about Cooperstown just the other day.
My son-in-law's been in there, and he said it's a great
Talked to
place.
Paula John.
Yeah,
Remember Paula
definitely.
Johnson just raving about
Yep.
Cooperstown
I'd love
years
to
ago
go
to
to
me.
all those Hall
That's
of
for
Fames, get a chance
my
to see
one
that
Hall of
stuff.
Fame is Toronto. Interestingly
Hall of
enough,
Fame, sure.
the one night I spent in Toronto, the next morning I did catch the
Okay.
NHL
That's
Hall of
great.
Fame.
I would like to, we got about 7-8 minutes left. The sad part of sports, the guy I'd like to slap in the head tonight is no other than Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
What a spoiled little brat he is. I want
You
my
to-
own
you
team.
totally-
Because he doesn't want to live in the shadows of LeBron anymore. Well,
Of course,
God
the
forbid.
the irony is LeBron
Crazy, yeah.
may be
LeBron's
gone
probably
after another
leaving
year.
it.
Does
Right.
it sound? Does that
Cleveland's
sound
falling
like?
apart. It's
Kyrie
ridiculous.
Irving's got 2 years in a player option. I can guarantee you, he's only making $21 million a year.
Yeah.
He is
Oh.
not going to settle on a player option for $21 million a year. He wants his own team where, look at me, it's me and my boys.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to play second fiddle.
Yeah.
Now, Kyrie Irving,
I've heard a few people defend him, but it sounds like it's easy criticism.
going to the hoop, going to the hoop. Him and John Wall from the Wizards are just the best. If you didn't know who Kyrie Irving was during that Celtics series, he played
Yeah,
better
LeBron
than
struggled.
And of course,
LeBron.
you
LeBron
remember him from
struggled
his
with
illustrious
Celtics,
Duke
yeah.
career when he played.
9 games at Duke,
Yeah.
and I told Duke, I said, "Who in the hell's Irving? He's never even." So, I'm telling you right now,
He's not looking too
literally
good, I guess.
the best place to trade him, and it won't happen because they're the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. Nick, let me throw this at you. You trade Kyrie Irving to the Boston Celtics.
For Isaiah,
For
Jay Crowder,
Isaiah.
a first-round pick for the Nets,
Oh, yeah.
the presumed
That's
Nets
the
pick.
first
and I'm not
thing-
even sure I would give him Jay Crowder. I would give him
You'd have to for salary reasons.
You're going to get him.
well,
If you're going to
Jay
get him, you
Crowder,
gotta.
as the experts say, has the best contract in all of basketball.
Yeah.
He's got 3 years at $22 million
Yeah.
to go. Jay Crowder is an animal. The type of guy you want.
Do they need him
Great
though
team
with
guy.
Jason Tatum and Gordon Hayward?
They
the
could
Celtics,
afford
is this-
getting rid of Crowder.
Give me a percentage chance of the
Okay,
Celtics getting
so
Kyrie.
you get 2 years of Kyrie. They get 1 year of Isaiah and a first-round pick. Whether it be the Brooklyn pick, they're going to stink, or the
Yeah.
Laker pick, they're going to stink again this year. But
Yeah, when
they're
I
the
first
best
saw
two
that,
teams
yeah.
in the conference.
When I first saw that Kyrie was asking for a trade, that was instantly what
Now-
I
So
thought.
would you be bitter? I mean, you sound.
I would take
maybe
Irving. Now, keep in mind, I
You'd
told
get,
this
you'd
to
get
Duke.
over your bitterness if the Celtics got him. Or
I'd
Well,
love to have
I told
Kyrie
Duke
Irving,
all
no
this.
doubt.
Irving is lazy, with a capital L when it comes to defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact is,
But who isn't
I just
these
heard
days,
it.
honestly?
Yeah, I'm not sure
He
many
is
people play good
the
defense.
second-rated worst defender
Is he
in
really?
all of basketball,
Really?
according to their sabermetrics.
Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
if
it's
you
not
ever watch him,
super
he
bad.
doesn't play defense.
Yeah.
And our old friend Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Call me crazy, but as I think about
I mean, it
Bradley
sounds
going
like you're
to
almost having
Detroit,
second thoughts about Gordon.
I think I'd rather
Gordon
have
Hayward,
Isaiah
huh?
Thomas on Detroit and getting Avery Bradley back. Doesn't defense count for something?
You think?
Okay, Bradley averaged like 16 and a half last year. Okay, Thomas averaged
29.
29 points last year. Okay, between that,
Best
12
fourth quarter
points,
scorer in
I'm
basketball.
thinking to Thomas, who's how tall are you, Nick?
Oh,
How-
5'9", maybe
5'9".
5'10".
Do you know what?
Isaiah.
Do you know what?
Taller than I do.
Same dimensions as Irving. So you Isaiah. So imagine you defending. Isaiah can't defend anyone.
Yeah.
He's so small. Okay. So the 12-point differential between what Isaiah scores and Bradley scores, what Bradley can defend and what Irving can't defend, okay, easily more than washes out.
Yeah, but
So-
I don't see that. I honestly, in today's NBA, defenses become really irrelevant. I mean, look at the Warriors. You watch the Warriors and Cavs series. There's no defense played there.
Agreed, and I hate watching that because when you play for Brad Stevens, he demands you
better play some
defense.
defense.
Yeah.
You better
One of
play
the
some
few-
defense.
Celtics are the-
and
one of
the
the
thing
few
about
teams left
Celtics,
that
you
play
look at
solid
all the
defense.
guys the Celtics released this year.
Yeah.
Most of them
solid
have not
defenders.
been picked up.
Is that,
Okay,
is that right?
It just shows you can coach
the
the
way-
great
yeah.
players, but the way Stevens is able to coach the second unit and make them into a good cohesive group.
You look at
Like Jordan
Kelly Olynyk.
Jordan Mickey is
Yeah,
gone.
Jordan Mickey.
Tyler Zeller is gone. And I can't think right now, but there's Gerald Green that played pretty
Yeah.
well is gone. There are five guys at least
Mr.
on that.
Young, James Young. is
James
that-
Young. Nobody's been picked up.
Yeah.
So we've
one
got.
who's still on the team. You look at Terry Rozier. I mean, he's
I-
come out
Terry,
of
better
nowhere.
player than I
He,
should
what
have
was
thought
he?
was
A
gonna
late
be.
first round pick or
Yeah,
second round pick?
he
Something
was
like
a
that?
late-
He was
late
their
first.
He was their top
Yep,
pick that
and
year.
that
was
guy
Out of Louisville.
can
Yeah.
run with the ball. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
he is so
Speed
fast.
kills. in the
Unsurprising
NBA now.
headline. This is Gary Washburn in today's Globe. Trade for Irving would be costly. The question is whether the Celtics should make a serious push for Irving, and this is dangerous territory. Would the Cavaliers make a deal with a conference rival looking to overtake them? Is Irving good enough to push the Celtics to the NBA Finals when they would have to relinquish Thomas and likely two other starters, rotation players, and draft picks to get him? So again, you don't want the Celtics to go after him, do you?
No, I wouldn't give more than Thomas in a first-round pick.
Yeah.
No,
I would give
you
I
know
wouldn't
you're
give
going to
up
have
any
to give
bodies.
that pick.
Because again, Brooklyn sucks. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably the worst would be the third overall pick.
And this year, pick-wise, seemingly, we'll see. He hasn't played his first game, but Mr. Tatum looks like a legit,
Yeah.
potentially legit
And that's
NBA
why I'd be
player.
willing to put
And
Crowder in
Jalen
that
Brown is ready as a second-year
looks
player.
like-
Is ready to take the next
Yeah, the
step.
Celtics have a surplus at
Forward,
the small forward.
absolutely.
And they should, if they were going to make a run at Irving, they'd have to
Yeah.
get rid of that surplus a little bit.
But the bottom line is, they're the best two teams. Somebody is going to win the trade over the other guy.
Yeah.
And so I don't see it
So
happening.
you're not
I
at
don't-
all sympathetic to Kyrie. I mean, I love my good feelings for LeBron. He's kind of the guy there. You think it might be a little tough if you're not LeBron. Just
Well, I don't
Kyrie
understand, Duke,
Had his shot to do
because
it by himself.
LeBron will be playing for the Lakers next year.
think you think that
Yeah.
does that sound
Yeah.
likely?
Yeah. Okay, so
So he'll have no
Irving
compunction
can
about
have
leaving
his
Cleveland.
own team in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Now, will there be anything
That
left?
may not be a very good
Nothing.
team.
There's nothing on Cleveland.
So do you blame him for?
1 minute
Do
to
you
go.
blame him for maybe hoping to land on just a good team?
He's giving four teams, Minnesota being the
Yeah,
what's
I
the
think-
word?
Is that right?
Chic place.
Chic
Place to play now with that great young team with a former Dookie, right, on that team.
Oh, Tyus Jones, who was in their championship year, has
Brendan
gone-
Ingram,
Where'd
not
Wiggins
Ingram.
play?
Brandon
No,
Ingram's
he's
on the Lakers.
There's a Dookie.
Where'd we
Tyus Jones, but he's just a backup guard.
So
Lake Monsters at home next week. On the road now, home starting next Wednesday, week from tonight.
with that, I must bid everyone adieu. I appreciate you watching the show. For Miss Joanne, Slick Nick, the Duke, I'm the Nighthawk, and as always, remember, you do not have to be a great athlete to be a good sport. Till next week, ciao for now.
See ya.